All right, Gold Coast. Yeah, look, I want to like the Gold Coast, but as anyone who's watched more than one episode of this potty over the season would know, I'm pretty critical of them. I just think for the amount of talent they have on the field, they really just don't get the performance that they don't get the results that they should, and I think some of that should go down to the coaching when we look at turning high talented draft picks into absolute out and out stars. So for me, should go over the off season, but I kind of understand if they don't because I was obviously watched that Amazon documentary over the summer, and he seemed like he had a really good connection with all the players and all that sort of stuff. So there might be more to him than just like a tactical coach, but yeah, for me, them coming 16th with that list is just not good enough. I know a lot of the scrutiny has gone to the Carlton coaching position and their underperformance, but I'd actually argue Gold Coast is a bigger underperformer if we just look list for list personally. So yeah, not a good season. Bit of a step back after last year. Looked like they were maybe priming for a leap into a top eight launch maybe this season, but they still look a long way from that finals berth. So best and fairest, everyone knows this. Going to be probably close to the top five in the Brownlow, even though he is ineligible. I don't know. But I think one of them's like you can't read or something, but and one's you are not able to win it. But there you go. I am illiterate and all above. So Took Miller, I actually can't speak right now. Took best and fairest, gone to an absolute another level this year. Always sort of had high raps coming out of his youth career. I think he was the Vic Metro captain, which is always brought up, but good to see him killing it. And also shout out, saw him at San Shiro in Hobart. Jack Lukosius, Young Player of the Year, really starting to find his straps in the competition. Struggled early on, and he's now starting to kill it. Absolute meter eater. Part of my algorithm is meters gained, and he is legit in the top three in every single Gold Coast game. I think once last year he got over 1,000 meters gained for the match. So yeah, he's an absolute beast in that area. And then most improved, I've given it to Will Powell. I'm pretty sure he's also young enough to win the best young player, but for me, hardly heard of him last year, and now I had him. Did I have him in my All Australian? Maybe, potentially, not sure. Rowie, what do you think of the Gold Coast season?
Just about agree with every word you said there, mate. Every year it's turning into Groundhog Day for the Suns every year. So yeah, it's they get a lot of young talent, can't win big games, can't really run out full games. They just fail to deliver really. So yeah, just another mediocre finish of 16th. So it was the same old. Like I say, there's more promising signs this year. Took Miller, who's obviously won my BNF, just absolutely stood out. I don't know. I want to get the stat on like Gold Coast All Australians, but he's probably one of the first since Gary Ablett. So he's up there for me. Most improved, Will Powell as well, just because last year was obviously a bit of a nothing player, but obviously he's become a really solid halfback. And best young player, obviously Powell could be eligible as well, but I've given it to Lukosius. Throw some light on Noah Anderson as well. He's obviously a gun. Not many people recognise him ever since he got drafted because he's playing for Gold Coast. But yeah, obviously those two there. Sucks to not put Matt Rowell in there, but obviously couldn't really find his form this year. It was disappointing given the start to the year he had last season. So for that, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. I was expecting them to rise up the ladder this year with all the talent they've got, but they actually went basically backwards. So hopefully they can do that next year. But look, if it's another groundhog year, then we'll be saying the exact same thing, won't we? So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to do my rating. I'll give them a 3.5 out of 10. Rowie, did you give them a rating, or do you want to do that?
I gave him a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to put Ben King in there as with the best young players. I'll make it a 3-way tie. That
deserves a mention after his goal haul. Pilch, final touches, mate. Who are your Gold Coast Award winners?
Yep, you boys have hit the nails on the head. I just want to add that from my point of view, they just lack players that have winning experience. No one's doubting the talent they've got, but I think it's time to stop just having 3 top 10 draft picks and start spending them, just bringing in some experience. I know it's risky when you're 16th and you're not going to the draft, but to me, that's what they're lacking. And I think they need to get that done. But yeah, shocking season, 4 out of 10, probably generous. MVP took Miller, obviously. Young player, 3-way tie between King, Powell, Lukosius, all the names we've mentioned. And then most improved, they had a few, but I've actually gone took Miller just because he went from a borderline A grader to one of the best players in the comp.
Yeah, very understandable. Yeah, I completely agree with your chat about the draft. And there's just looking at this bottom 10, there's quite a few teams that I think would snap your hand off for another first round pick, looking at like Richmond, West Coast, even Collingwood, and they've got Hawthorn as well. They've got quite a few high quality players who you could get in return. And
I think Gold Coast did say they were going to offload their first pick for some experienced talent. So yeah, I think it was like tall forward to help Ben.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I know you mentioned Callum Coleman Jones in your when you did your off-season needs, but maybe could get him and maybe someone a little bit better. Yeah. But no, it's a fair call. Wouldn't mind seeing the big CCJ up there. So yeah, that's going to be one to watch. I'd love to see Toddy and King is the 1-2 punch.
It's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.